Last time, if you are here for the first time, this is just probably a little extra information. But for those who were here last time, this is your extra practice, which I will say for you. Well, I keep letting people. So I will say them twice. Feel free to say them the second time with me, just to make sure that you are articulating the word correctly. Absolutely, Mark. No problem. Okay. John V, hi. We are on, so today's lesson will be under today's date. Today we're going to be working on this lesson right here. That's the TI, which I'm super excited. But for now, before we dive into today's lesson, we're going to be going over our extra practice that we learned last time. Okay, so extra practice number 1 is clottage. Clottage. So if you remember, or if you weren't here, here's a little bit of information for you. Whenever you see a DGE, it's always going to come right after a short vowel sound. So that O is going to say ah, that I is going to say I, that A is going to say ah. You would say ah, E would say eh. So a DGE, as a little reading hack, a fun fact, will only come after a short vowel sound. So it will help when you are decoding an unknown word. You automatically know what that vowel is going to say if there's a DGE after it. And the D is relatively silent. For the most part, it's silent. You can hear it stopped a little bit, but it is going to sound just like J, just like a J. So number 1 is clottage. 2, blompage. Blompage. 3, besimpage. Besimpage. 4, fimplage. Fimplage. These are all nonsense words. Don't worry if you've never seen or heard these words before, because I just made them up. So get concerned. And we always work with nonsense words in this class, because if you can read an unknown word and know why it is spelled the way it is and why it sounds the way it does, then you can read any unknown word for the most part. Number 5, crowmudge. Crowmudge. Number 6, glepage. Glepage. 7, hippage. Hippage. 8, jadenpidge. Jadenpidge. 9, kintripage. Kintripage. 10, lowmudge. Lowmudge. Okay. So before we jump into TI and why I'm so excited about it, let's do our phonemic awareness warm-up. Warm up our ears, because we read with our ears more than you read with your eyes, believe it or not. So put in the chat, how many sounds do you hear in? Well, before I tell you, I want to share with you the WH grapheme. We never really talked about the WH grapheme. Maybe we did, but I can't remember. It is only air. It doesn't sound like a W. It sounds like a blowing sound. It's like a combination of blowing plus a silent W. It's in which, whether, where. We always say which, whether, and where because we kind of talk a little lazily. But once in a while, you're going to hear somebody say, which way did he go? And you're going to go, you know what WH says. So this first word is wheat, and that is one sound. So how many sounds in wheat? Put it in the chat. in wheat. Let me take a look at all your answers here. Oh, beautiful. So there are 3 sounds in wheat. Eat, wheat. Here's another one where that with that WH sound. Yeah. That WH sound in whisker. How many sounds in? Yes. I wish I knew how to say your name. Sing. I'm glad you got that right. Okay, how many sounds in whisker? Whisker. Take your time. So if we went really slow with whisker, I think there's 5 sounds. Let's count them. Whisker has, see, I just said whisker instead of whisker. It's common. Whisker has 5 sounds. ER at the end. That's a grapheme that says Whisker has 5 sounds. Okay, a little longer one. How many sounds in pinwheel? Pinwheel. Getting a lot of different ones, a lot of different answers on this one. So in pinwheel, there is I, N, E, O. 6 sounds in pinwheel. I, N, E, O. 6 sounds in pinwheel. It's a hard one. It's okay. No frowny face emojis in the chat. We don't need perfection, only progress. All right, so TI. How do I want to set this up? Does anybody already know what TI says? It doesn't say T in the middle of a word. It does at the beginning, but not in the middle. In the chat if you already know. Yes, good. TI in the middle says sh. Few people who knew that, but not very many people know that. You're going to impress your friends and family if you will tell them that TI in the middle of a multi-syllable word says sh. Now I'm going to put this in the chat so everybody can see it. You're going to see the suffix shun everywhere, right? If you'll notice that TI is saying sh in the suffix shun. That O is changing to the schwa sound and saying because that's a rule for O. Whenever O comes almost to the end of a multi-syllable word, it's going to change to the schwa sound and say And the suffix shun always comes at the end and creates a multi-syllable word. So that TA is saying shun as in nation, petition, fraction, election. It'll also come in where it doesn't say shun, as in patient, patience. Have you always wondered, like, why does that not say pay to end? Well, now you know that TI in the middle says sh. Who knew that? Put in the chat if that was the funnest fact you've heard all day. Or if you already knew that. When I learned that, I was kind of blown away. That is good stuff. I love this lesson. Very fun fact indeed. So we're going to practice that in, let's get a marking. So I'm going to mark my vowels. Here is an O, and it's going to make its long sound because there is a vowel 2 doors down. This TI is going to say sh. O is going to make the schwa sound because it's coming almost to the end. Let me see, before I even mark that, I'm going to make this easier. And we're going to box that whole suffix, shun, because you're pretty familiar with shun. I'm sure you've seen shun in a lot of words in your whole life, and you probably know already that that says shun. You just didn't know why. Well, now you know why. It's because the TI says sh and the O says So this word would say g, o, shun. I'm trying to figure out if I want to break that apart, if I want to say it as a whole suffix. Since we are working on TI today, I'd better break it up, because I want you to come to recognize that this TI is a grapheme that says sh. And then I'm going to go ahead and mark the O as a schwa sound. So we have g, o, sh, n. Goshen. Goshen. Try yours over here. You're going to be learning how to mark words like a pro. Those of you who didn't know, an upside down E represents the schwa sound. Schwa sound is a. So when you pencil read this word, we have b, o, sh, n. Boshen, like lotion, but boshen. Yeah. Okay, number 2, this A is going to say A because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This A is going to say A because there's another vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This TI is going to say sh, and the O is going to say a. When I pencil read it, we have a hard C, a, d, a, sh, n. That's kind of a lot of sounds, so I don't want to miss any. I'm going to go one at a time. Cur, cray, crade, crade, cradesh, cradesha, cradation, gradation. Go ahead and try yours over here. Read this word. Be careful of this TR. Make sure you pronounce each sound so it doesn't turn into a CH sound. It's not chur, it's tur. U, d, o, sh, n. Trudoshan. 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 Take your time and pronounce that. Trudoshan. Make sure you look at each sound as you pronounce it. Make sure that your eye and your mouth are following along in a line so that your brain connects the letter that you're looking at with the sound that you're saying. So don't go ahead with your eyes, but your voice is still over here. Make sure you keep everything lined up. Trudoshan. Okay, number 3. I know that this E is going to say E because the next 2 letters are consonants. I know that this I is going to say I because I in the middle makes it short sound. If it's in the middle syllable, there's a syllable after it and a syllable before it, it's going to make it short sound. It's a rule breaker. I in the middle says I. Now here we have our sh. And A at the end always says So that one gets a schwa sound too. It has a lot of rules in it, my friends. This one's not an easy one. When we pencil read it, we have D, E, O, I, sh, Delicia. Delicia. You might have seen a word like dementia. This is why it says sha at the end, because you have your TI that says sh and A's at the end say Or what's another word that ends with sha? Well, there's a lot that end in sh. Let me think. There's a lot of medical words that end with TIA and TIAN. Yeah, Scotia. Thank you, Mary. Like Nova Scotia. Or you're also going to see a TIAN at the end. This says sh. Say the same thing as TION. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's stick with where we are. So Delicia. Delicia. Go ahead and try yours over here. So I am making right here a really sloppy brev. It's supposed to be just like a really shallow just curve. So mine looks like a U. So I don't want you to be confused. I'm not trying to say the U sound. It's trying to be a brev. I just have a hard time maneuvering my mouse. So when we pencil read this word, we have a silent, I should say silent, voiceless. The sound for F is not fa, it's full, I, p. Another voiceless sound, only air, no voice. I, sh, Every word that ends with an A ends with the sound. Flipisha, flipisha, flipisha. Can you put in the chat and tell me how you're doing? I appreciate the videos so I can kind of get a little bit of a judge for if I'm getting some face palms or some smiles. It's better than Delicia. Yay! Yeah, I mean, it's a... Why is the ITIA, the first I is short, and the OTION, the first O is the long sound? Oh, good question, Amy. That's just because I in the middle makes it short sound. Any other letter that comes before the TION, like nation, that vowel is gonna make its long sound. If you pronounce the S, emotion. So any other vowel that comes before the TION is probably going to make its long sound, but I is a rule breaker. I in the middle says it. That's why. That's a good question. Okay. Let's try our number 4. Hang with me, you guys. You're doing great. Mark my E. I know it says E because the next two letters are consonants. I'm going to mark my I. I in the middle always says I. Here's my TI that says sh. This E is going to make it a short sound because the next two letters are consonants. So when I pencil read this word, I have B, E, O, I, sh, E, N, T, be, bell, belly, bellish, bellishe, bellishen, bellishent, bellishent, bellishent. Go ahead and try yours. This is super hard stuff, by the way, you guys. This is definitely adult level class. Still see a couple people working. So we have O. Got dyslexic there for a minute. I wasn't sure if it was the TI or the IT that I was looking for. So here we have a T, I. It was a TI. Are you guys wondering if that should be Roshishent? So I want you to forgive me on that. Yes, you were wondering if that should be Roshishent. So that was an error on my part. I should not have put two TIs next to each other. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. That was so confusing. If you've marked it, I want you to do this. I want you to erase the TI right here and make it just to erase the SH mark and put a T and a regular I sound right there. No wonder that tripped me up. So it's this TI that I want to be the SH sound. So we have O, T, I, sh, E, N, T, roticient, roticient. If you notice that that TI was weird, then you are better than me. You are quicker at me than realizing that. Okay, so utilizing that new knowledge, would anybody like to try one of our extra practice words with me giving you guided feedback?